Okay. I hope you had a happy, April Fool's Day. I sure did. Now, April Fool's Day, I went and had some lunch with my family in downtown Fredericksburg. Beautiful downtown Fredericksburg. Now, I hate urban areas. I hate cities. I hate parking garages. I think it's just because I can't see the horizon, and it makes me real nervous. Plus, there's people everywhere. Everywhere. Now, urban areas aren't without their charm. All right? And so, if you know Fredericksburg, I'm sure you know this place. If you know where Mellow Mushroom is downtown. Yeah, not a bad place. It's not great either. Mellow Mushroom is just a Italian place, I guess. Pizza specifically, and it was okay. But right next to it is Harry's Ale House, and I've been there a couple times. That's pretty good. But I was having this lunch with my family, and I was having a cigarette outside with my niece's father, my brother-in-law, and he's like, "Oh, she got me really good." Talking about my niece, she got me really good this morning for April Fool's. So I got to get her. We got to get her. We got to get her with something. And I was like, okay. He's like, hey, how about a clown like passing out balloons? And I was like, is she afraid of clowns? And he's like, no, just she'd be like, oh, there's free balloons. The clown's giving out free balloons. And so we could say, let's go find the clown, and we can like walk around the block or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So as we're wrapping up the dinner, we're paying and everything like that. We're having these, after we pay, we're still like talking a bunch. And so I was like, hey, I said to my niece, hey, did you see the clown walk by giving out free balloons? And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, there's a clown outside giving out free balloons. If you want, I'll go outside with you, help you find this clown. And she's like, okay. So we go outside, we go out Mellow Mushroom, we take a left coming out, and we start walking down to the corner, and she's like, I don't see any balloons. It's like, well, just look. Maybe if we come down the corner, we can look down each of these directions, see if we can see some kids with balloons or some clown with balloons. And she's like, so we walk down the corner. I light a cigarette, and that's why I wanted to go outside anyway, So, so I go out there, I light the cigarette, and she's like, I'm looking, I don't see any balloons. I don't see any clown either. And I was like, oh, well, maybe he'll come around a corner. He's going around the streets and making a figure eight or something like that. And as I'm having this conversation with my niece, this beautiful young woman, and I'm talking like mid-20s, all right, beautiful blonde woman. And you know how it was this past week here in Fredericksburg, in Virginia. It's been very, very nice. And it was a warm, wonderful spring day. Baseball season has started. And so this beautiful blonde girl in this black dress, her skin's all pale because she's been inside all winter and inside for years, like all of us because of COVID and all that nonsense. And she's walking by, but she's hearing this conversation I'm having with my niece. And I said, just keep looking. There's a clown somewhere. I saw him earlier. He's passing out balloons. And so I see her kind of looking around, say, what the hell is this crazy guy talking about? But at the same time, I'm looking right at her while I'm talking to my niece. It's like, there's a clown somewhere. I had my sunglasses on, so it's not like she could tell I was directly looking at her. But as beautiful blonde woman in a black dress walks by, you bet your butt I'm looking at that. So she walks by, but even though she kind of wants to look at me and see if is this guy crazy or what, I don't know. It's this kind of thing where I was like, I'm attracted to this girl, but I don't necessarily want to engage her because she caught me in the middle of a conversation about clowns with my niece. And so I don't know how to segue out of that into something cool and suave, pick a girl up. And so she's standing there in the corner. It's like waiting across the street. There's some traffic, but at the same time, she's like looking around, trying to not look at me. and finally she walks on by, and eventually I say to my niece, April Fool's, there's no clown. That's when I waited for my brother-in-law to come out so he can deliver the line. He's like, there's no balloons, there's no clown. We got you good, April Fools. And so I tell you something. It's been a long winter. It's so many people. You remember a couple weeks ago I was talking about hot nurses and face masks and how their faces are covered up. And this beautiful young lady on the street walked by without a face mask and her lovely dress and her alabaster skin, and I'm just like, wow, it's a beautiful world we live in, isn't it? And it really is like a wonderful thing to appreciate the works and beauty of nature and what God has made and what has and part of that, or a big part of that, I should say, is the female form, the true female form. I'm not talking about Dylan Mulvaney. I'm talking about a real woman walking through the streets of Fredericksburg. And I got to tell you, it does wonders for my self-esteem, and it made me feel good knowing that there's beautiful women like that walking around in my town.